13. Exodus 14. Beginning at verse 12. Are we all there? Yeah. If we're not there, say hold on a minute. All right. Exodus 14 and 12 says, "Is this not the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, Let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. And Moses said unto the people, Fear ye not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will show you today. For the Egyptians whom you have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever." For a way of a subject, I want to speak from this thought: the importance of standing still. I remember when I was growing up, and I would be at Grandma's house, and it would start raining and storming. And whatever activity that me and my cousins were doing, she would say, "Stop. Turn that TV off. Get somewhere. Sit down and be still. God is at work." And it would behoove all of us that whenever God is at work, that we get somewhere, sit down, and be still. In this 14th chapter of Exodus, the children of Israel are at the Red Sea. The Red Sea is in front of them. Pharaoh's army is behind them. And they have mountains on both sides of them. And the reason that they're at the Red Sea is because God led them there. But before I press my point about them being at the Red Sea, we need to back up some. The children of Israel was in Egypt, and they were growing in number rapidly. This new king, Pharaoh, has come on the scene, and he's seen how they were multiplying, and felt as if that because of the number of Hebrews, that they would take over the Egyptian nation. So he gets together with some slave masters and tells them that we've got to put them in slavery. Because if we don't, they may join forces if war break out with our enemies and fight against us. Take over our land and then leave. So Pharaoh gets these guys, these group of men together, and make the Hebrews, the children of Israel. If you back up and read, it doesn't call them the children of Israel, it calls them Hebrews. But it's still the same group of people. He puts them in slavery, and to try to slow them down in multiplying, he gives them double the work. He wants them to build brick and build cities, 2 cities. And he tells the slave masters to work them as hard and as fast as you possibly can. And so they do that, but yet God was in the midst, and they still multiplied. while all of this is going on, Moses is being born. God prepares Moses to go and get the children of Israel out of Egypt. He makes Moses the king in Pharaoh's palace. Moses flees. He spends the first 40 years in Pharaoh's house. The second 40 years he spends at his father-in-law Jethro's house. And then the next 40 years of his life, he's leading the children of Israel out of Egypt. They get to the Red Sea, and the children of Israel does just like some of us. They start mumbling and grumbling, complaining. They get to the Red Sea and they say, Moses, why did you bring us out here to die? We were doing all right in Egypt. Did you bring us out here because there was no graves in Egypt? To let us die here in the wilderness? Point number one in this little speech of mine is the past. Don't let your present condition allow you to forget what God has done for you already. They were in slavery, in bondage, working hard. And for 400 years, these group of people was praying and asking for deliverance. And isn't that just like some of us? We find ourselves in the Egypt type situation. And we start praying and asking God to deliver us. And as soon as we deliver us and we get to our next Egypt situation, we start complaining and grumbling and moaning and groaning, and feels like the world owes us something. And it's funny how, as long as everything was going all right, on the way to the Red Sea, they were fine. But as soon as they get to the Red Sea, they start to turn on the leader. And it's funny how people will follow you long as things is going all right. But as soon as you get to the Red Sea, they want to start talking about you. They want to turn their back on you. And then say, I was doing all right where I was at. Sin has destroyed a lot of our people. We've never been in slavery, none of us in here. But we have had some slave type situations in our life. Because all of us have sinned. Some of us are still sinning. That's a slavery type situation. It's an Egypt situation. And I can hear some of you thinking already, what is he talking about? Whatever your sin is, that's your slavery. That's your slave master. Because it rules you. Whether it's drinking, whether it's men, women, drugs, whatever it is. But we serve a God who's able to deliver us from that situation. They're at the Red Sea. Pharaoh's army is behind them. Mountains on both sides, and the Red Sea is in front of them. It feels like they're trapped. But this was all in God's plan. Because of their disobedience, it was only a 2-week journey from Egypt to the Promised Land. But they spend 40 years wandering around in the desert because of hard-headedness, disobedient, thinking they're grown and can do what they want to. I remember as a child, I was staying with my dad and my mom, and they had rules and regulations that I had to go by. And of course, I didn't agree with the majority of those rules and regulations. And I remember saying these words: I'll be glad when I get grown and get out of here so I can do what I want to do. Come and go as I please. Now I'm grown and wish like hell I was a child again. Young folk, it doesn't matter that you're grown. You still can't do just anything you want to do. Life doesn't work like that. And the children of Israel had to learn this. And being faced with this Red Sea situation, that was one of the lessons they learned. Point number 2 is present. Don't let your present situations dictate your